Hello, today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about glycoproteins. What are glycoproteins? Glyco, basically meaning sugar protein, is a molecule that contains both a protein with carbohydrates covalently bonded to them. The proteins and carbohydrates are attached to one another within the endoplasmic reticulum lumen, or also known as ER. You'll notice the picture that I have in the lower right-hand corner is just a snippet from our textbook of smooth and rough ER, where glycoproteins essentially come from. What do these glycoproteins look like? The structure of a glycoprotein are based on three types of glycoproteins. There are N-linked glycoproteins, O-linked, and non-enzymatic glycosylated glycoproteins. Try saying that 10 times fast. N-linked are synthesized and modified within the ER and the Golgi apparatus. O-linked are synthesized sugars added to the hydroxyl side chain of serine or threonine in polypeptides within the Golgi apparatus. Non-enzymatic is created by the chemical addition of sugars to polypeptides. And of course, I do have a picture of a glycoprotein, just an idea as far as what an N and O linked, what they look like. What do glycoproteins do? Glycoprotein functions are involved in a lot of the cell process that you have going on within your body. They can be found in your immune system, they communicate between cells, and they're also in your reproductive system. Additionally, they give structural support to cells, and they help form connective tissue as well as cartilage, which we all know is very important. Glycoproteins play quite the role in regard to cell communication or signaling as well. They tend to bind to the cell from the surface of another cell, although this communication can also have a negative effect. The responses may have a negative effect when glycoproteins interact something like a cancer cell or a cancer cell metastasis, and they may help assist in delivering those cells throughout the body. Glycoproteins, as well as important molecules. There's a lot of different molecules that are involved within glycoproteins. In order to carry out some of their functions, additionally, they're needed, of course. So per our textbook, glycoproteins are created in the ER membrane. They're wrapped in a membrane called a vesicle, which will transit from one part of the cell to another and are called transport vesicles. One very important component of glycoproteins is a oligosaccharide. Oligosaccharides are a carbohydrate that covalently attaches to proteins to form glycoproteins. Those protein chains are then covalently bonded in order to form polypeptides. These proteins will then go on to perform a lot of the functions that occur within your body that you simply cannot do without. And just to kind of wrap this up as far as the conclusion goes, I wanted to leave you with an analogy that I had come up with in regards to glycoproteins. It reminds me a lot of the yeast and sugar when you are baking bread. So, of course, to bake bread and have a nice fluffy product, the yeast needs to be added along with sugar. The yeast essentially eats the sugar, and that's what releases the gaseous product, helps it rise, and you have something nice and fluffy. Without those together, you wouldn't really have an edible product. It'd be very hard. It'd be a lot like hardtack, which nobody really enjoys unless you're in the 1800s. And of course, glycoproteins are just really vital for us to assist in the everyday process within our cells. They just make things a whole lot easier for those cells to communicate within each other.